It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Shea blasting inside away from Nembhard. Shuttle feeds Dort. Right wing Dove. Wide open. Strokes a three. In there. Cha-ching. Thunder money ball. Jalen Williams 33 and counting. Thunder making shots. 98-93. 8 minutes to play. Shea recovers on him. He throws it away. Wallace has it in the open court. Down the lane for the dunk. Payson Wallace to strip and the slam. Thunder 100. The Pacers 93. Timeout Indiana. Up top to Nembhard. Pump fakes Dort. Drives left in the lane. Throws it away. Shea the steal. 12 on Holmgren. Driving left. Down the lane to the rim. Lays it up left hand and lays it home. And he's hacked in the act by Neesmith. Oh, the Thunder spurt back to go up 10. 107-97. A spectacular surge by Shea.
And the Thunder win 120-109. They lead the series 3-2. Jalen Williams, 40 points. Way too many turnovers for the Pacers. And Tyrese Halliburton, 4, 6, and 7. That's a shadow of his production. The calf injury bugging him. He tried to play through it, and he wasn't close to good enough, PK.
Nah, he was just out there. Obviously, He was limited. He was really having no effect on the game in the manner that we've seen him do several times this year. So I feel bad for him in the brightest moments and all. He's got that injury, but we've seen that before, and somehow he's got to shake it off. And you wonder if he can't, is he actually hurting the team because you can get somebody in there who's healthy because he wasn't giving you much because he couldn't give you much. And, it was a very interesting game because, you see the Pacers making that comeback. Then all of a sudden they started turning it over like they didn't even want the ball. I mean, it was just seemed like one possession after another, and it went right back up. And that was it. And the thing that I love is that the Thunder knew what was working. They had 94 FGAs, and less than a third were threes. They had 64 two-pointers. Right on. And they had about the same percentage. I'm not saying don't take the threes, but don't force the threes. If the threes are there, take them all the way. The right guys, of course. You don't want Hartenstein jacking them up, but he didn't. He wouldn't do that. And the shot selection was really good, and SGA, he is so smooth. And another thing that caught my eye is that after the game, the ladies doing the on-court thing with Jalen Williams, and she says, they made that comeback, and it got down to 2, and he looked at her sort of whimsically, and she said, "Yeah, you didn't know it got down to 2?" He said, "No." Don't worry about that. Yeah. Play the game. Don't let some exterior pressure. Oh, no, we've got this lead. It's slipping away. We're going to lose the series. We'll never get here again, and all the things that the mind can do.
Yeah, the mind can do all of that, and none of it. Just, hey. Yeah, need a stop right now, need a bucket right now, and then everything works out.
He acted like he had no idea, which allows you to play free, and that's cool, and they did. And they're the better team. We've been saying it all along.
Yeah, and that's his best playoff game ever. 40 points is a playoff career high for him. So he came up huge. I thought your point about the threes, it's we always talk about, hey, when the three isn't falling, find another way to score and all that. The three was falling.
Right.
They were really...
Right.
They just...
It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, they shot 44% from three,
fine.
so that was great. But they kept putting pressure on the rim. They kept getting to the free throw line, so... They never...
Take the three that's there. Don't, we have to shoot threes because some nerd said we got to shoot threes. If you're open, your feet are set, go ahead and take them. I've got no problem with that, but don't force it just because you're supposed to, as if it's some badge of honor on FGAs for threes. No. If it goes in, that's the badge of honor. And run your offense. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, don't force it. That's my whole gripe about the threes.
For Halliburton, if you can't score a single bucket in the game, I mean, I get the point that you're a leader, and to a certain degree, they're going to respect you if you're out there. So maybe even as a decoy, you have gravity. Is the cool word. You have gravity and open space for everybody else. But, I mean, if you can't make one bucket the entire game, thinking you shouldn't be in.
That's what I'm saying going forward.
Yeah.
You've already earned the respect. Okay, you're going to play through it. but there comes a point sometimes, not always, but sometimes you are impacting the team negatively because obviously they could put somebody else out there, maybe give McConnell more minutes. He's been outstanding this series. But they'll figure that out here. When's the next game? Is it tomorrow? Is it Friday?
It is Thursday.
Tuesday?
It's tomorrow. It's Thursday, yes.
Yeah,
It's Thursday.
So you got a couple of days,
Yep.
and because there's a travel day involved, and let's see what you got.
4.7 rebounds, 6 assists, just not even close to good enough for him. So, Game 6 coming up Thursday. People are focusing on the draft. 6 more players received NBA draft green room invitations. The expectation is there'll be 5 more later this week. Bring the total amount of invitees to the draft to 24. Maybe 2 Jazz guys will be on that list. What will the Jazz do with 21?
Oh, 2 guys they take.
Right. 5 and 21. They're going to take 24 guys.
I would think so, yeah. Makes sense.
They may like somebody who's a little off the radar. I guess they're checking the teams, and teams are turning in lists of 25 players. And
well, they'll be
guys.
done drafting in the first round at 5.
Because?
Well, the 2 picks that they're going to have in the top 5.
Oh, okay.
You just
You're
wait.
waiting for that trade, baby.
Yeah, now, see, I was hoping that the lottery odds would fall their way for Cooper Flag. Mm-hmm. Well, now that it didn't, they will trade for him. So that's in the end, as long as you have Cooper Flag, what difference does it make how you acquired him, right?
Well, the second part is true, but the first part is not happening.
What part?
Where they're trading for him.
Oh, okay. What I meant to say is that in 4 years he'll demand a trade for Salt Lake. Yeah. And again, as long as if you get Cooper Flag by 24, all of us are happy.
Fact, that's true. Not happening, but it's true.
Well, you got 4. I got 4 years to keep saying it.
You do. You can beat the dream. You can't be wrong for 4 years. Lakers star LeBron James said his focus this offseason is having his left knee healthy in time for training camp. He said he's feeling good after he sprained a ligament in his knee in the season-ending playoff loss to the Timberwolves. Wants to be as close to 100% as possible when training camp begins in late September.
For him.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
But I take being a mentor with a lot of honor. I enjoy passing knowledge. I feel like, there's no point for me to die with all this knowledge, go to the graveyard or whatever in my career with all this knowledge. I have to share it with many people as possible, and especially people that are going to help us win ball games. So I'm going to help all the young guys as much as possible. And if I help them to a level where they're better than me, then the team is better, and, I'll find my role and make it work. But, that's the goal, right? I would like to help these guys be the best players they can be, and that's just football.
That is 17-year vet Calais Campbell back with the Arizona Cardinals. Being a willing mentor.
I always loved listening to Calais Campbell talk, just thinking that they got that big, deep voice. He's a huge man, and he was always a great interview when he was there the first time. Somewhere in the great beyond, Barry White is smiling.
A 6'8" defensive tackle. Usually the tall guys are out at end. Defensive tackles tend to be bowling balls.
He began his career as a DN.
Yeah, I believe it.
Can't get enough of your love, baby. I don't know why. Can't get enough of playing football, baby.
49er tight end George Kittle defended quarterback Brock Purdy against detractors on Purdy's new contract extension. I don't know what his winning percentage is, but when you win a lot of games, you only need 2 years to get to the NFC Championship or better. I think that's decent. One of my favorite things that I've heard is everyone calls him a check-down merchant. And then the last 2 years, he's had the least amount of check-downs as a starting quarterback. So I think he's doing pretty well.
Well, he doesn't know his winning percentage, but he knows his check-down percentage? I don't buy that. I'm not sure that's a fact. Right there.
Yeah,
you would think that you would know your winning percentage more than your check-down percentage. Because I've never heard that as a specific stat. And we've got stats for everything. Your check down percentage.
I haven't heard it either. I'm sure it's out there because we know that they graph every portion of the field, not just how far down the field you throw the ball, but whether you throw it the left side, the right side, down the middle, and it probably analytics people break it down even more than that. But
what is the limit for check down? Is it 3 yards? 4 yards? Does it have to go
behind
a
the line
certain
of scrimmage,
percentage vertically, and then it's no longer a check down. This can get very, very complicated.
It could. I have not seen a formula for that, how they figured that out.
If I was Kittle, I'd be far more worried about his winning percentage. Get that down first, and then worry about the check down later.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
South Carolina star quarterback Lenore Sellers reportedly passed on an $8 million NIL offer from another college program to transfer and remain with the Gamecocks. He was named SEC Freshman of the Year after throwing for 2,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. And he ran for another 674 yards and 7 more touchdowns.
Well, that's got to be Tennessee, right?
I can see why
among
you would say
others.
That. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they needed the quarterback. They got the money because Nico Alamalealaveva, he decided to go home to Southern California, so they needed someone.
It's a very good educated guess.
Yeah. And I know I'd heard that they made some feelers out for Levitt down there in Tempe.
Sellers' father, Norris, told The Athletic, quote, "He was offered all kinds of crazy numbers. We didn't come here to make money. We came here to get our education and play ball. And with schools calling, we're not going to jump ship because they're offering more than what we're getting. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're 19. You don't need $8 million. You're in a great spot." There were several talks, but it never really crossed his mind to leave. It's a challenge with colleges offering young guys that kind of money. Who's going to say no to $8 million for 2 years? You're going to be swayed if you don't have the right people in your corner.
Well, that's the key, that last part. You know, and we know statistics, and I know people don't want to talk about things that are tough to talk about, but we know statistics that a lot of young men don't have the fathers, and you're quoting his father, and so that would make me believe that they are in a decent financial situation to where that's not important. But for some folks, that's a big deal.
Right.
That could be life-changing.
I do think it was critically says at the end, who's going to say no to $8 million for 2 years? Okay, so it was $4 million per year, not 8.
Okay, well,
which is still a lot of money. I get that, but then also, well, he didn't pass on $4 million. Some percentage of that South Carolina's paying him, whether they're paying him $1 million or $2 million. I mean, we've heard the going rate for a starting quarterback is $1 million, and I assume it's higher in the SEC.
Yeah, I think it's Kyle said 1 to 1.5 this past season.
Right, and now it's a year later, and that's the SEC. And he put up great numbers, so he had some leverage. Yeah.
This is the way it is. Why shouldn't these young fellows get paid?
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Ohtani's 28th pitch, a 1-1 to Bogarts. A chopper to the left side. Muncy charging along the line. In the glove. Throws on the run. Freeman stretches. In time to get him. And so that will strand Arise. But the Padres do get one on the Manny Machado sacrifice fly following the back-to-back singles to greet Shohei Ohtani in his Dodger pitching debut in 2025.
Shohei Ohtani pitches 1 inning, gives up a run on 2 hits, throws 28 pitches, and then starts driving in runs. He only threw the 1 inning. It was a combo bullpen game. They ended up using 7 different pitchers in there as they win 6-3, right a 5-run 4th inning to the victory.
Well, if he was a normal player, he would go down to the minors, to A, AA, single A, triple A, wherever they want to put him in that situation. We've seen that. But he's not a normal player. His bat needs to be in the lineup, so he's going to get his rehab starts in the big leagues, because the last thing you want to do is take him out of the lineup.
No, you want his RBI double in the 3rd inning, and you want his RBI single in the 4th inning. So,
and his 2 home runs tonight.
He probably will hit a couple more tonight.
So, yeah, this is the way they have to do it. They have no other choice because he's so dominant with the bat. And it's also a business, and a lot of people go see him play.
And there it is.
Yeah, so he needs to be out there as much as possible because he is the show these days.
He was fastest pitch was clocked at 100.2 miles per hour.
I was watching it, and he knew he was going to. Once he got up to 20 pitches, he knew he was only going to go one at bat there, or 1 inning, I should say. But I think he is the number one attraction in the Los Angeles market that people literally go to see, and I'm not counting the Angels, because I know they're in there, but they're down. I put them.
They're down the pecking order.
Yeah. But I mean, they're just geographically. I'm talking about.
Oh,
the
you're saying
city
they're
of
too
LA.
far south to be the city of LA.
Yeah. I think
you view the Angels as Orange County's team.
Yeah, and maybe beyond, and Riverside and all those other places, those other counties too. I think he's the number one attraction in LA since Magic. In terms of, I want to see him.
Okay, so you're putting him over Shaq and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kobe really, he was selling tickets. I mean, at the start they had Shaq and Kobe, but after Shaq got moved, I mean, Kobe had a long run there, and I mean, he's an LA legend.
No question.
Yeah.
No question he is, obviously.
But Shohei's topping Kobe now. He's reached that point.
In terms of, I want to go see him, not them. Because you just meant Shaq and Kobe. You want to go see them.
It was them early on.
Right.
It definitely was them early on.
And then he has Gasol.
Him.
And Gasol's a really good player. But I'm talking about just singularly. And that's taking nothing away from those other guys. I mean, obviously, Kobe was as electric as they come. And he was also a lightning rod. You can argue, in terms of lightning rod in sports, we've never had a player like Kobe Bryant, for good and bad.
How long has it been since the Dodgers had a player who could sell tickets like that? I mean,
Fernando?
you got to go back. I was going to say Fernando or Oral Hershiser.
Oral's kind of boring.
Yeah. But people went to see him because he won.
Well, he had that streak going.
Right.
The shutout streak.
Fernando had the magic. I mean, the charisma, just the...
Right, and he was also minority, so he attracts the Mexican folks. He certainly was beyond that, but that added to that. That's one of our own. We've got to go. And the Japanese.
And Otani has that to a degree too, right? Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, they got 500 media people.
But again,
there.
It also goes beyond that.
It does.
White people lining up.
Well, it was like Jordan. I mean,
money.
Jordan is an African American, obviously, but he's just
everybody. Yeah.
Didn't matter who you were, you wanted to see. And we saw that when they have the Olympics and everything, and
I'm trying to think,
around the world.
Football doesn't. I mean, the Rams. It's kind of weird in that town. Coming and going. They don't have the hold. The Kings don't have somebody like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, they had Gretzky back when I was there.
Rest of baseball. Philly. Your Phillies had a tough stretch there. They lost 10 of 12, but now they've turned it around. They won 5 in a row. They beat the Marlins 5-2. So. Back on the upswing in Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, when they go down, I just go over to the Dodgers.
We know.
And also, in my back pocket, I have the Mets and Yankees.
So you got that going for you.
I live there. I moved around.
Yankees got shut out by the Angels. 1-0 final score there. Colorado, after that dreadful start, what are they doing? 6-7 in their last 13 games. They're showing some competence there, PK. Don't know what to make of that.
Me either.
Red Sox, they move a star. Do they have another one? Roman Anthony, top prospect, hit his first Major League Baseball home run. They beat Seattle. Boston wins 2-0. The Bees lose to the Aviators. That's 8 in a row. 8-1 the final. Same two teams tonight, 8 o'clock on The Zone. DJ and PK.
#NHL.
Game 6 Stanley Cup tonight. Panthers win. They hoist the cup. Panthers lose. Game 7 in Edmonton. Those are your options. 6 o'clock tonight on TNT. And we just had on Mike Fulton. We just had him on yesterday and replayed it for you in the first hour. And he has no idea what's going to happen. Nobody knows.
No.
Tune in, find out, be surprised.
And just guess.
Will they go overtime again?
The nature of the sport, and then combined with these two teams. Last year, each team had a 3-game win streak in the finals.
Yeah.
Good luck, man, trying to predict. I don't... I've been in Vegas casinos 100 times, maybe even more, in sports books. And I like to just hang out because you got all the screens there and you see people living and dying because they're getting... I don't do it, but they put money on it. I wouldn't bet a penny. I wouldn't even bet your pennies
on hockey.
No.
You just never know. What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Steve Cleveland, former BYU basketball coach, joins us at 8 o'clock. We'll talk NBA Finals and draft with him. Brandon Huffman, national recruiting editor for 24/7 Sports at 8:30. The question of the day is next. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present...
This is JJ and Alex.
Joining us on the program right now, John Wilner, college football writer for Mercury News.
What are some of the issues and concerns about that 5+11 model that gives a lot of people pause?
Well, I think that it gives the selection committee an immense amount of power. They're picking 11 spots. There are a lot of reasons to be wary of the selection committee. I mean, your state is one of the big ones, right? Because I think BYU got totally hosed. That is a sentiment a lot of people feel could get repeated every year if the committee is allowed to pick most of the field. One corner is distrust of the selection committee. Another corner is the need for more money because of revenue sharing. And the third corner is that ESPN isn't on the hook to pay more if they expand the playoff. So they can't just get more money by expanding the playoff.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 6. Presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. This week on Win Ticket Wednesday, you can win tickets to the Monster Jam World Finals, July 4th and 5th at Rice Eccles Stadium. Don't miss the biggest Monster Jam event of the year. With the finals coming to Utah for the first time, tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Listen to The Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
Sweet. The finals are back, huh?
Well, not back. For the first time.
No, they were here in 97, 98. I seen it.
Of those finals. Question of the morning. Why would five-star quarterback recruit Ryder Lyons choose BYU?
That's just not true. He is so good. He's a 6-star.
Oh, really?
He's a 6 shooter.
Well, that explains the visit to Oregon.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Oregon. Try to outbid us.
Nice.
I dare yous.
You got Nike money, we got tech money. And go.
Yeah.
Jason answers a question with a question. Why would AJ choose BYU in basketball?
Kevin, I'm so young. So young.
Aaron says, why wouldn't he? Everyone wants to be a part of KYU.
Well, it's a different sport. One's is football, and the other's is basketball. Ryder Lyons from Folsom High School. Yes. And you know what they say? The Folsom Prison Blues. Not the Folsom Prison's green or the Folsom Prison red. It's the Folsom Prison Blues. BYU is blue. You know what I'm saying?
I do, actually, which is weird, but I do, yes.
He, if he were to play here, would be the second Folsom High quarterback to play for Brigham Young University.
What are you doing?
How many syllables can you?
Radio.
Yeah.
University.
Thank you, Howard Cosell.
Yes. Can you name the first one? So that is the home of Jake Browning, where a legendary former BYU football player coached by the name of Fred D. Whittingham.
Fred D. Whittingham.
Yes. Freddie, Kyle's younger brother, lived in that area before turning to coaching, now coaching the tight ends at the University of Utah. I didn't even know I said it, but now that you brought it up, I'm going to continue to do it all morning.
I was just afraid of that. It's really my fault. Own it.
Some say he started the run of great quarterbacks to come from BYU. And he also went to Folsom. So we could have bookend Folsom quarterbacks because, of course, I am speaking of VC, Virgil Carter.
Now you're in the Wayback Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil Carter you're working on 60 years ago.
Well, some people say he started the...
Virgil Carter to Gary Scheide to...
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
On down the line.
Right. And Folsom, we know, has had a good football program. We've heard of that program. I have not lived in that area as I did in the Los Angeles area for many years, but I am aware, talked to Freddie about it, talked to Kyle about it. That's actually where Troy Taylor was working too. Went on to coordinate offenses there for Utah for a couple of seasons. And so they've got, and we remember Jake Browning. I think he was a 4-year starter for Washington. And we talked to him when they would play Utah because I think that Freddie's children were buddies with Jake. Mm-hmm. He talked about, I think Freddie had a son and a daughter there that were about the same age as Jake was. And now Ryder is all supposed to be all that. You know, I don't question he's all that at this level. We've seen that. But, man, here we go again. BYU hasn't had a lot of luck with those types of quarterbacks. And you wonder, really, this is like wherever he goes. But especially, I think it's especially BYU because those kids, now A.J. DeBonce is another story. Right, he had no prior connection. Well, if you're a Latter-day Saint, which I understand Ryder Lyons is, the fan base latches on to you when you start making your move about your sophomore year, and the legend grows. It does. We've seen it.
It does. It's all true.
Right. We saw it with Tanner Mangum. And it becomes, and Jake Heaps, obviously, and Ben Olsen, and it becomes almost impossible to live up to it because it is a trail of years by the time you get to Provo. And then if you should go on a mission, add more years to it, right? And you're supposed to be a combination of Joe Montana and Steve Young. Well, who is that?
Yeah.
You know, when the first day you enter and the hype is, well, when are you going to start and when are you going to blow up? In a way, all those other dudes were flying under the radar a little bit. We hear about Steve Young. What was he, 47th on the quarterback depth chart? He was behind 4 punters and a place kicker, I think. And Ty Detmer, I mean, all he had was chicken wing legs and an Adam's apple, and that was it. He was 5'4", 117 pounds when he got to BYU?
5'4".
Yeah.
Was he a jockey?
These legends.
Part of BYU's noted horse racing program.
So you slide under the radar a little bit. Well, nobody can slide under the radar a little bit now if you're ranked number 1 and you've got all these schools, and on top of it, you're an LDS kid. And it just... if he comes here, good luck, and maybe he can live up to it. But the idea of why wouldn't he consider BYU? That's the way I look at it. You know, when they were independent, that's another story. But they're not independent anymore. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you consider it? You should. They've put a number of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Why would he consider it? Okay, so he's a member of the church. There's that. They have put quarterbacks in the NFL, the NIL deal, the finances, the money's there.
Attention.
All of that lines
schedule.
up.
Yeah.
So a long list of reasons you would expect.
Yeah. Kalani's going into his 10th year, and I do not believe he's 50 yet. So he's getting real close to 50 if he's not there. But the point being, at 50, you still got many more years to work if you choose. And he and A-Rod are of the same generation, and Fesi Sataki's there. Did they lose? They didn't lose any coach this year, did they? They returned them all?
They retained everybody.
That's rare.
Yeah. Well, especially with the success that they had.
Yeah. So They've got the stability in the program. And Brian Santiago, since he's taken over, it seems like every time he has a public speaking engagement, he says, we're trying to win at the highest level. They're making no bones about it.
Get a message.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
Yeah, right.
He's got his line for his stump speech.
They're sending the word out to not just LDS kids, but anybody who's interested in being a part of what they have to offer. We will compete at the very highest levels.
Dick Harmon has a story in the Deseret News that part of the pitch is not just football, it's that Cougar quarterbacks stick together afterwards, and they point out the money that you can make with Steve Young off in the world of finance, and now Christian Stewart has joined them, and so you got a whole future as vice president cutting multi-million-dollar deals.
Steve Young, is it a venture capitalist or a capital venturist?
Venture capitalist.
Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. That just sounds fancy. I literally knew no one growing up
who did venture capital
the
work.
way I grew up. And now, if you're in the janitorial aspect of it, I knew several people, but not venture capitalists. I don't even know what a venture capitalist does.
Is reading from Dick's story in the D News. The Wall Street Journal did a feature on Stewart praising his work in leading Sundance Growth, a software-focused investment firm, to a $125 million upper limit debut fund in one of the more difficult private equity fundraising markets in recent memory. He says his job is to discover the next Apple or Microsoft. You invest in them, and then when those companies take off, you make a ton of money.
But what does that have to do with Ryder Lyons?
That Ryder Lyons is getting a recruiting pitch. If you're the next BYU quarterback and you go to the NFL, great. And if you don't, you'll go make millions of dollars doing this kind of work.
So
that they're all sticking together.
At Oregon, you'd go work at McDonald's?
Yes, you would. No negative recruiting. They don't even mention Oregon. They don't even mention Oregon.
That's great.
I don't know what Achilles Smith is doing today. So
he's making a killing somewhere.
Okay.
He played in the NFL, so shouldn't that be anywhere? Is that unique to BYU?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard about networks of other quarterbacks sticking together and
you haven't
going off to make money. I have no idea what ex-San Diego State quarterbacks are doing. What are the ex-ASU quarterbacks doing?
Brock Osweiler, he does commentating for ESPN.
Okay.
Jake Plummer is just an all-around good dude was on the sidelines of what was it, the Peach Bowl? Living and dying by every play.
What's Danny White doing these days?
And he's just Danny White.
He's just busy being Danny White? I am Danny White. Come unto me. I'm the legend.
Well, he had it going on because he was local too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
that was.
We've talked about that.
Double.
The guy's ability to stay local and what that can mean to them financially down the line can be enormous.
Yeah.
And a lot of
and plus
16,
he played
17-year-olds.
So many years in the NFL. And he started in the College World Series. So
he's the man.
I've played golf with him. Yeah. He is a sort of a older version of Danny Ray Ainge. What can he do?
Right. Yeah. Multiple sports.
Right.
He wrangles them all.
And he punted in the NFL.
He did.
To just kill time.
Save a roster spot.
Right. So those guys don't grow on trees. But I think you can get that anywhere. Taking nothing away from this.
That's their pitch.
And that's fine. But I don't think Ryder Lyons is thinking, I'm not going to make the NFL. That's for way down the line.
Right. But when you have Steve Young, you're just like, okay, after you win your Super Bowl and your MVP, you come do finance work and set you up for the rest of your life.
Suppose he doesn't want to do finance work.
Yeah, then maybe he'll go to Oregon because that's their pitch, apparently.
I think you're blowing that up a little bit is the point. But it worked for Christian Stewart because I believe he was a walk-on. And so if you have marginal talent, come to BYU and Steve will take care of you. That's more of the pitch. But when you're the number one recruit in the nation,
you figure you're going to have the world by the tail anyway. So
you're thinking a little bit bigger than that.
Except we do see the number one recruit doesn't always have the world by the tail. So
when he's the number one recruit being recruited, he does.
Yes.
That remains to be seen.
In that moment, it is good.
Well, if he were to suck at BYU, I wonder if Steve would say, I'm not interested.
You threw too many picks. I'm not helping you.
Yeah. Forget it, man. This was conditional on winning bowl games, man.
If Aaron calls and tells me you've completed 67% of your passes, then all right, fine.
And 40% of those are not checkdowns.
No checkdowns. You throwing the ball on the line of scrimmage, son?
But the point being, he should seriously consider BYU.
Well, he is, but the key is choosing, because as you have been told many times, what good does it do you to come in second in a recruiting
But not
battle?
anymore.
Because of the bounce-back kid, the transfer.
We had Kalani talk about that.
Yeah. If we don't get him now, I'd rather get him for all
recently
four.
as yesterday.
I
love when you do that.
Yeah, well, you didn't let me. I would have. I mean, I don't want to disappoint you, PK. I would have done it, but you wound up and let her rip yourself.
I know. It's awesome, man. Wow. He just had that example. Yes, that was like 24 hours ago. That is so fresh.
He said, I'd rather have him for all 4 years. He was talking about kids transferring and can they graduate and how many of the units transfer. And
I mean, they at this point now, and Ryder's coming in this week, right? This is his official visit, although he's been to Provo probably 50 times, if not 100 times.
He was here
but they do you an official visit that's paid for, so you might as well do it. Since
he's got a sister that lives here locally that he was here 2 weeks ago visiting.
Yeah,
her.
he visited his sister.
As recently as 2 weeks ago.
You know what they call her? Sister Lyons.
Thank you, PK.
Right. Not Sister Golden Hair, but Sister Golden Lyons.
All right. All right.
He's got a sister here. Does every Latter-day Saint in the West have some connection to Utah? Is every single one of them? I mean, we talked about Venezuela. Wasn't there some Venezuelan guys you said the other day should consider coming to BYU?
Sure seems like it.
Jimmer Fredette had a sister, was a school teacher around here. Jimmer. And now we're here, Ryder. Jimmer, Ryder. Yeah. Come on, son. You need to come here. And is he going on that 1-year mission?
That's what he says.
What's his brother's name? Walker?
Walker. Served 14 months in Norway, then came home.
14 months in Norway? And he came home?
Now at USC.
Don't know what to make of that.
You're waiting for me to say something incendiary, and I'm not going to do it.
Well,
I'm not going to do it.
You asked the question. We were all teed up. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Swing for the fences.
Because you don't want to, because you just didn't come up with anything incendiary off that?
No, because my philosophy has always been, since I moved here and it became not a big deal, but it became more prominent, is missions are 100% off limits to me. You go. You don't want to go.
Do
you
your
serve.
own thing.
Do
your own thing.
That is over there.
Right.
We talk about sports, and that is between you, God, and whoever you have in your circle. And so I have no opinion. Well, I do have an opinion in guys who go. I think that is tremendous that they would do that. But I don't think any less of anyone who doesn't go. I mean, I have enormous respect for young people who would do that, but I don't have any less respect for somebody who doesn't do it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to wade into that whatsoever. That's such a personal decision. It's like, well, why'd you marry her? Why didn't you marry her?
Yeah, I'm not wading into that either.
It's in your heart, man. It's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey.
List of things I don't need to weigh in.
Yeah. So I admire them for doing it. I think it'd be really cool to go live in Norway for 14 months and not on your own. You know, I assume they have people waiting for you when you land in Norway to take care of you. And
yep, there were people waiting for us when I got to Taiwan.
Yeah, right. So it's like a guided tour in a sense. And you're talking to a guy who's never been to Europe. You people, you're world travelers. You've been to Europe. I haven't. The chances of me going to Europe
are pretty good if you listen to your wife.
Slim. Well, if you listen to me. Oh, yeah, because her father was born and raised in Switzerland, so she went there many times. I mean, she's half Swiss.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.
What?
Coming up at 8 o'clock, Steve Cleveland. And then we'll talk recruiting with Brandon Huffman, national recruiting editor for 24/7 Sports. Yes.
I believe he served. I believe he served there where the Beatles walked.
Liverpool.
I believe so. We'll have to ask him. I remember talking to him about that.
He walked across the crosswalk with some friends.
I don't know if he did that. I don't know if he did that. Okay. But I think that's
There's
the
a
case.
Liverpool tie?
Yeah, yeah.
Brandon Huffman's national recruiting editor for 24/7 Sports. We'll talk with him about 5-star quarterback recruits and what might they choose to do, and will it involve BYU? That's coming up at 8:30. DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.
Hey, bro. You hear us every day with our crazy opinions.
Hey, what you doing?
Well, now it's time to hear from you.
Hey, great show.
Download the KSL Sports app and fire off your thoughts with the call-in tab on the bottom of your screen.
Your show is fantastic. It's the one that captivates me the most.
You can tell PK to stop singing.
G-Bang.
Let Jake and Ben know what you really think of the Jazz. Woo! Tell Hans and Scotty about your favorite barbecue spot or what color of tie JJ should be wearing on TV. The best entries will be played on the air. Download the KSL Sports app now and hit the call-in button to let your voice be heard.
I think you guys do an incredible job.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Artist of the day today is Kendrick Lamar. He celebrates his 38th birthday today. It's brought to you by Live Nation. For all the live concerts and events in 2025, check out livenation.com.
Do you know what his real name is?
I do not.
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I knew the answer to that one.
You're still cracking yourself up over there.
I thought you would get it.
A lot of celebs change their name. You're good at tracking that down.
Of course, his last name is Duckworth.
Kendrick Lamar Duckworth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Like yours, David James Snigeldorf. That's why I brought it up. It's the same concept. You drop the Snigeldorf professionally, which was shrewd. Yeah.
Made it up out of whole cloth. You're the man. Just came to you. Got a question up on our Facebook page this morning. You're still chuckling over there.
Oh, not?
Yeah, okay.
You want me to be happy.
I do.
And I'm freaking happy. You're still chuckling over there. Get serious.
Jalen Williams goes off for 40 points in OKC's win over the Pacers. How close can his brother Cody be to getting as good as he is?
Not even.
Jason, 10%'s my guess. That first year was real bad. I'm praying, but there's not much hope there.
Then why are you praying?
Well, it's a miracle, apparently. Brian says, who knows? Let Cody run his own race.
Should we have a community fast for Cody Williams? Yeah, that's the problem, man. It looks like he's fasted too much.
Ben says he can get within a few time zones of him.
One.
Right now.
Well, the most, as far away as he can be is 2. And still be in the NBA.
Unless they both move. Yeah.
No, they settled in Phoenix. They did move around because the parents, I believe both the parents were in the military Air Force, I think. I know the dad was. I think his mother was too. And then they settled over there in the East Valley, over in the Gilbert area, and that's where they went to high school.
You have a lot of examples of brothers both being really good in basketball? I mean, the Currys would be the best current example. And you grew up with the Van Arsdales.
Dick and Tom Van Arsdale. Now, Dick Van Arsdale was a legend.
Twins, right?
Yes, I believe they were twins. He was, I think, wasn't Jerry Sloan the original bull?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dick Van Arsdale, they called him the original son.
Okay.
And I talked to, not when he was playing, but he did some scouting and worked for the Suns. And so I would see him on the road checking out players and stuff. And they didn't know. They knew my face. They didn't know. They knew, oh, that's the guy covers the Utes, and obviously the Utes were really good. And so talked to him a few times there. Well, I think you went with the Currys. I think I can top you. In fact, this is a great combo.
Okay.
And I can't believe you haven't said it.
Giving you all the glory. Go ahead.
No, because you can't think of it. That's why. That's it.
Possibly.
Otherwise, you would steal my thunder in a heartbeat. I understand where the lines are drawn in this relationship.
There are no lines.
I get how this game works. I'm here to make you look good, and you're here to make yourself look good. I mean, that's the way this works. We know that. Obviously, we have LeBron and Bronny.
They are not brothers.
Same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Depending on who you're talking to. I mean, in your background, of course they're not brothers. But where I come from, they're brothers.
Yeah, right. Nice save. The Thompsons just got drafted, so they're just starting.
Hold Me Now?
Starting their never liked that song. They just started their journey in the NBA. They've only been at it a brief time here. The Lopez twins.
Gasols?
They had a good run. The Gasols, that's another good brother combo, yes.
Yeah. I haven't given up hope for Cody, but right now it doesn't look like he could be as good. When you're scoring 40 points in a crucial...
in Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
When the series is tied 2-2.
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously takes on a higher level of importance the longer the series lasts, the later you go. And what is it, 75% of the teams that win Game 5 in a 2-2 win the whole ball of wax. So, yeah.
Markieff and Marcus Morris. There's some more brothers who made it.
Decent.
Yeah.
But they were what's interesting here, you have in this case, you could have a Steph Curry, what's the other kid's name? Seth. In terms of one as an all-timer. Remains to be seen if Jalen Williams is going to be an all-timer. But right now he looks very good.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody Williams looks lousy. But let's give him some more time. You know, if we're still saying this, the evaluation hasn't changed this year versus last year, okay, that's 2 years then. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt right now. I don't want to be too hard on him. He was 19 freaking years old, man. And his brother played 3 years in a West Coast Conference. He still has 2 more years. Well, I guess it would be this year because he played 1 at Colorado. But he was in and out of the lineup, and he wasn't the man at Colorado. They had 2 older guys that were trying to, 3 older guys, if I remember, 2 of which made the NBA. And so he was taking a backseat to those guys. And Jalen Williams, at least at Santa Clara, was not taking a backseat. Santa Clara doesn't run out those types of players a lot. So he was able to establish himself more. But certainly the younger Williams has to show a ton more. And let's hope he does, man.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. When we come back, Steve Cleveland will join us. We'll talk some hoops with him. With the NBA Finals now, the Thunder pushing the Pacers to the brink. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.